What's one thing you're always willing to pay the extra price for?
Motorcycle helmets. You don't need the most expensive helmet, but you should pay what it takes to get something with a decent certification. Snell *, ECE, FIM, and not just DOT. Some technologies like MIPS are also well worth the extra spend. Maybe.
Everyone made fun of me when I got my Shuai helmet because of the cost and them saying I don't need it and that I was paying for equipment that was made for racing. Sure enough, a lady pulled out in front of me and I ended up in her backseat. Helmet saved my brain from going mashed potatoes. All my friends have Shuai helmets now.
Winter tires are tires in general. Edit. Wow, this kind of blew up. While I can't reply to everyone, I will do my best to read every reply. Thanks to everyone who have taken the time to read and reply to this comment.
Tires are so underrated. They will make an older normal car feel like it's newer and safer to drive and handle on the road. It won't make it feel nicer inside, but going around a corner, stopping quickly, and taking off from a stop on putty roads will be so much better.
Anything I'll use for years. Like computer or clothes.
A good mattress.
Work boots.
Footwear in general. I'm always willing to pay a bit extra to get better quality footwear that's comfortable and has a good, grippy sole.
Currently sitting in the airport for an egregiously complicated overnight layover, all to save $80. I'll always pay the extra $80 moving forward.
Why complicated?
I flew out of an airport that I had to take a Greyhound bus to instead of the local one. That bus left at 5 a.m., and my flight wasn't until 1 p.m. My itinerary is Oregon, Wisconsin, but they decided to have me overnight in Dallas for God knows what reason. I have a tough time sleeping on planes and in airports, so I'm effectively spending 2 whole days traveling, and 0 of those hours sleeping. If I had paid a little more, I would have had a single-day trip from the local airport, without starting at an obnoxiously early hour, and without flying south only to fly back north.
Direct flights instead of cheaper ones with layovers, connections, or stops.
Why take a 90-minute flight, when you can save $30 and make it an all-day adventure?
A good plumber. Water damage effing sucks.
Crafts and tradespeople in general. Added tradesman. I thought craftsman was the name for that field of work. Edit 2. Invited women and everyone else to the party.
A really good quality winter coat or jacket. To me, it's definitely worth the investment if you live in a country that gets cold winters. Here in Ireland it doesn't snow much in winter due to us being a small island, but we get very cold winters and very wet ones, so you get really cold rain. And #X2OOB. Paying extra for a really good quality, warm and waterproof coat makes such a difference if you're out and about a lot like I am. It pays for itself because it can last you years. And #X2OOB. I'm due a new one this year, got 5 years out of my last one and it's still good, but I've lost a significant amount of weight this past year and it's much too big for me now.
Funny thing is for me, 18 years ago I walked into a thrift surplus store and purchased a legitimate wool Swiss _Army _ surplus trench coat. And still use it regularly in the winter. It's warm as hell, has a few rips, but holds up really well for the age, and although it can get heavy if it gets really wet, doesn't really absorb moisture well, so even in terrible winter storms I stay dry. I don't think I could use any other coat at this point. I've had it over half my life and used it every single winter since I bought it. And the funny part is, I paid $13 for it.
Movers. Having them put your furniture in a truck, drive it to your location and put it in your new place. It's great not having a sore back when it's stressful enough to move.
Oh yes, definitely. I moved to a building, 7th floor, no elevator. Told my girlfriend I am not moving by myself. So we got a van and 2 movers. All we had to do is be there. I helped of course with the carrying, but within an hour we were done. Everything was in our apartment. Gave then a super nice tip which they loved, and I felt good afterwards knowing I didn't have to break my back or worry about 5 to 6 trips myself.
I live in Mexico. The national cinema chain, Cinépolis, often has 2 whole movie houses in each location. One is your standard, run-of-the-mill movie theater with 30 rows of stadium seating, while the other theater is Cinépolis VIP, which features reclining leather seats, USB charging ports, heated seats, around 30 seats total, and table service, food and alcohol. Reminds me of Alamo Drafthouse cinemas in the USA, but these are nicer in my opinion. Husband and I always pay the extra pesos for the VIP theater for comfort, plus there are rarely issues with other patrons who also pay for the VIP theater. Quiet people who really want to see the movie and won't be chatting or constantly getting out of their seats through the entire movie. The price difference between the two theaters really isn't that much, so it's a small thing we always pay for.
Heated seats. I think I might get too comfortable and sleep through the movie, lol.
Good pots and pans. Like real heavy-duty stuff. I've got some pretty decent stainless steel, but by far my favorites are always my Le Creuset stuff. I only have 4 pieces and I always found them on sale. I just make jambalaya in my Dutch oven last night. She was tasty.
To add to this cooking-wise, good knives.
Get a few food knives. Another ad. Get them sharpened twice a year if you do a lot of cooking. Either getting a set of stones to do your own sharpening or finding someone to do it. I'm lucky there is a place near me that shape knives for $5 a pop. I gladly pay $20 to get my best 4 knives sharpened.
Tools. If you are earning a living with them, you want something totally reliable and is not going to break and work properly every time. They say a cheap man pays twice as much in the long run. I bought up a set of Ryobi power tools for work, and for DIY at home they are pretty good. But, when I was on site and found the batteries take 3 hours to charge. I don't have that kind of time. Also, the hammer drill didn't always hammer. I'm a Milwaukee boy now and I am completely satisfied. TLDR. Always buy the best that you can afford.
My brother has the best advice for tools from a homeowner perspective. The first time you need a tool, get the cheap Harbor Freight tool. When it breaks, then go buy a good one. Headphones. Never going back to anything cheap.
My sister was blown away when she tried out my setup by how nice the sound was. My headphones, although perfectly fits my needs, aren't actually too great compared to many others that could be bought. My sister has been using the earbuds that came with her phone for a long time and she never knew what she was missing out on.
Hobby supplies. Every hobby I've ever tried has some real dog poo entry-level gear that most people either buy and grow out of really fast or don't realize their potential particularly quickly and lose interest. However, if you buy, rent quality mid-tier stuff to start out, you end up with a much better experience overall and progress much faster and get a truer reflection of the hobby. This is true for musical instruments, archery, longboarding, sailing, fishing, painting, brewing, gaming.
The difference between student-grade paints and artist-grade paints literally makes 2 different pieces look like they're done by different artists.
Absolutely. My big step up was switching to Winsor & Newton brushes and a wet palette. The difference was massive and made it much easier to achieve more subtle blends and color gradients.
Running shoes. If you serious about running, pay for best shoe because your knee's going to thank you.
Tattoos from an artist that knows what they're doing.
Have a friend who wanted to get ladybug tats in a few places on her body. She went to a friend of a friend who gave her a discount. Now all her ladybug tats look like cancerous growths.
Electronics. It's better to pay $50 more than it to break the next day.
Toilet paper. Nothing worse than cheap toilet paper.
Cheap toilet paper lets you get in touch with your inner self.
Holidays or short adventures with friends.
Always go for the cheap room at the nice hotel than the expensive room at a bad hotel.
Sushi.
As a lady with rather generously sized boobs, I'm accustomed, and happy, to pay through the nose for a really good bra. The difference it can make to my day is worth every penny. A bra that fits, and big boob problems for any others out there.
Can I just add, a stretchy, comfy, compressing, shapeless sports bra, that is not crossed over or racerback, can be miles more comfortable than the most expensive, well-fitting wired bra, if you're out of proportion. As a 10G, 32G, I suffered for close to a decade with dozens of excessively expensive, expertly fitted, brand-name bras. Ditching the cups and wires for something flexible and supportive was life-changing.
Good ice cream.
Thank you for watching. We upload new videos every day, so be sure to come back for more fun. Please consider liking and subscribing if you enjoyed the video.